So let's talk about the science of forgiveness. Now, here's the deal. If you are needing to forgive somebody, that's why you're tuning in here, obviously. But you haven't been able to forgive this person yet because there's some kind of pain or there's some kind of feeling that is attached to it, right? This person has wronged me. So, first of all, let me explain to you why your brain is trying to hold on to this. So, think of your brain as a filing cabinet, right? And all day long is getting all kinds of information, and your subconscious mind literally stores it all, every little bit of it. Your subconscious mind knows everything about you. So if you, let's say, you had a toy box in your closet as a child, and you had your toys in there, you could go into the subconscious state, get super, super deep in that state, and you could go back and you could recall those things that were there in your closet. Your mind, it's constantly taking pictures, it remembers everything. So how is this good? How is this bad? And what does this have to do with forgiveness? Okay, so let's say that somebody has said something to you. Someone harmed you in some way. So let's say that somebody said, "Oh, your shoes are hideous." Okay. What has happened? Let's say this was grade 3. Somebody said, "Oh, your shoes are just awful." Okay, so what happens? You are going to remember exactly where you were when they said it. You're going to remember the shoes. You're going to remember many details about that particular situation, but the biggest thing that you're going to remember is really how it made you feel, right? And so your brain is like, "Oh, I don't like this. We don't want this to happen again." So it files it right at the very front of your mind, right at the front of that filing cabinet. And so it's accessible to you always, all the time. But it's not doing this to harm you. I mean, it is harming you, but it's doing this to help you because it believes that it's helping you. It's helping you avoid that person. It's helping you avoid those shoes. It's helping you avoid any kind of situation like that. So what's going to come from something like this, though? Somebody says, "Oh, I don't like your shoes." Well, you're not just only going to be concerned about your shoes now, right? You're going to be concerned about what people think, right? This person didn't like my shoes. Now I care what people think. Whereas before, maybe you didn't care what people thought. So now you've received a samskara from it. You've received some type of scar, and you now are operating out of a place from that scar. And so it has shifted your beliefs. This is what has happened. But the reason why your mind has filed that right at the front, easily for you to recall, is not because it's true. It's not because your shoes actually weren't good. It's because it's actually trying to protect you. So if we have a situation, it's like, "Oh, I need to forgive this person," what's going to happen? Your mind, the filing cabinet right at the very front, is going to tell you all those bad things that person did to you. Why would you want to forgive them? They did this, 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 this. It's trying to protect you from it happening again. You know what I'm saying? And now, I want to make this very clear. We can forgive people, but if that trust is broken or whatever it happens to be, we don't need to keep these people in our lives. No. Goodbye. They can be gone, but we can still forgive them. If you guys have not yet listened to the several forgiveness podcasts that I have put out, you might want to. Very beneficial, kind of tells my story, and it's like, what? You could forgive that? Yes. And it kind of explains why and how. So, but here's the deal. So when something good happens, our mind doesn't need that to be easily accessible, right? Because we don't need to be protected from that. No, we need more of that. So it's going to put it way at the back. We're going to completely forget that good, nice thing ever even happened, because that's just how our brain works. You don't need to be protected from those good situations, just from the bad ones, so it has you recall the bad ones over and over. But this is detrimental. This is detrimental because we are creating our reality minute by minute, right in the now, in the now, right now. And so anytime that we have that old memory, that old file pop up, and it reminds us of that thing. It immediately degrades our consciousness. It immediately takes it down. You could have been having just this wonderful time. All of a sudden you see those pair of shoes that you got made fun of for however many years ago, and immediately you're back in that state, and it's as if it's happening again. And when this happens, you are then in a low frequency, and you're in a low vibe. And it sucks, and it hurts, and it doesn't feel good, right? Emotionally, you don't feel great, and you probably feel, down about yourself. So how do we forgive? What's the science of forgiveness? So there's studies that have been done, and upon forgiveness, people can actually jump higher. So let me explain to you what is happening when you're not forgiving. So you guys have seen the water experiment by Dr. Emoto, and if you haven't, go and look it up. It's where they put intention, it's where they put thought into water, and it changed the structure of it. And when they put in truth and love, it became more beautiful, and when they put in hate and, nasty, low negative thoughts, the water was ugly and distorted. Go look it up, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So you are almost all water. Right? And there's nothing that could be closer to your thoughts than you. Nothing. That experiment that they did, that was on water that was outside of the person's body, right? But there's nothing that could be closer to you than your own body. So when you are allowing those negative low frequency thoughts to be present there in your life, you are downgrading the energy that is meant to be in your body. And from that experiment, and you're all water, what do you think that those cells look like inside your body? What do you think that water looks like, right? Ugly, disgusting, low. And then you wonder why you don't have any energy and why you feel so bad. And it's because you're walking around with this resentment and this anger all the time. And you're feeding it through your thoughts. And because we are made of almost all water, it is our thoughts, our body is then changing its structure based on our thoughts. So this is why, if you're tuning in here now and you're like, oh, I know I need to forgive this person, this is why you intuitively know, because you know that you don't feel as good as you could once you've forgiven that person. Because when you stop thinking those resentful, hateful, angry thoughts towards whoever it is that you need to forgive, you are no longer programming your body's water, your body's energy, your life force energy system with those low negative thoughts. And when we change those and we can switch it up and we can get into a divine alignment and really be just sending out loving thoughts all the time, well, those loving thoughts are permeating our cells in our body as well. So you can send out the good and you will get the good back, and you can send out the bad and you will get the bad back. And it's immediate when it has to do with your body. This is why you could be sitting there and the whole expression of, oh, that person's a real pain in my neck, or that person's a pain in my butt. And then all of a sudden you got a pain in your neck and you got a pain in your butt. And you've literally programmed this into your body. So when I'm working with people, if they have not forgiven someone, they are holding on to resentment, anger, and hurt. Maybe other things too. Maybe there's guilt that's involved, and it totally depends on the situation, but they are holding on to resentment. So I want you to think about that energy of resentment, right? It's aggressive. It causes tension in your body. If you were to think about how much you resent someone, just notice how your body tightens up. Anytime that your body tightens up like this, the divine also tightens up, and the things can't flow to you like they're meant to. Think about anger. When you think about how angry you are that that person wronged you, that they didn't love you properly, they didn't love you right, that they harmed you, that they gave you bad, that they did bad to you. Anytime that you think about that and the anger that you have, think about getting angry with them. Your body tenses up, it tightens up. And this means it's pushing away all the goodness that's out there, pushing it all away. And when you're tightened up and you're tensed up, the divine cannot flow into you. And then think about that hurt. When you're holding on to that hurt and that pain, think about where you feel that in your body. Where do you feel it? You noticed as soon as I was talking through these things, you noticed that each of those feel completely different, right? Now that hurt, these things manifest physically in our body. So that place that you felt the anger, as soon as you thought about that angry thought, you are depleting the life force energy that was in those places inside your body that were tensing up. As soon as you think about that sadness and that hurt and that pain, oh, even me talking about it right now, I can feel it. You can feel it lowering the vitality, the life force energy that's in certain parts of you, right? And so that when this goes on, when these thoughts persist and are activating those parts in our body to downgrade, you can only do this for so long before you end up with pains, physical pains in your body, or some type of ailment. Now for myself, I know when I was younger, I didn't, express with words. I was maybe feeling things and didn't say it. And I was very angry with my father that, many things. And I ended up with kidney stones when I was 16. I've had shingles twice in my life. One came up the day that my ex told me about the betrayals. Literally that day. So our physical ailments manifest so fast when it's a powerful emotion. That's what doctors tell you all the time, oh, stress can cause this, so they are telling you a thought can cause all kinds of issues because stress is just a thought. So when we do not forgive people, be honest with yourself. How many times does that person pop up into your head and you just think, oh, that mother effer, or whatever you think about them, or you think some negative thought. You can't escape them. You cannot escape your thoughts. They manifest in your body instantly, constantly, second by second, minute by minute, always in the now. And so when you allow yourself to think these resentful and negative thoughts about these people that you have not forgiven, you are doing the damage instantly in this second to your body. But that's not the only damage that you're doing. What you are sending out through your electrical thoughts will be given to that person. Telepathy is 1,000,000,000% real. And so as you are sending out that negative thought towards that person, that hateful thought, well, it is being received by them. And they might in turn start thinking, they might start thinking the same thing about you. Or they might start thinking lowly things about themselves. Whatever damage you do through those low thoughts that you have sent out to that person, damaging their psyche, whatever you've done, that will be returned back to you. That is the karmic cycle that you cannot send it out and not have it back. But look what you've then done to yourself. You've caused yourself physical pain, you've caused yourself a lowering of life force energy within your body, plus on top of that, whatever hate you've sent out is going to come back to you. So the damage that's done is insurmountable when you just let your thoughts go unruly and willy-nilly. So if you're tuning in, it's because you know you need to forgive somebody. So how can you forgive someone? Now, if somebody's really seriously harmed you, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. So let me give you an example. My ex, it was 18 years of not being with that man before he even came to my mind that I thought, oh, I better forgive him. My own father, I didn't talk to him for, several years for a while there because I was just so pissed. It's like, no, you're not being in my life anymore. And then it was through my forgiveness that was like, oh, and when I forgave, I set these people free because it is only my perspective that I am experiencing and witnessing in my life. The visible matter that I'm seeing that's all around me, it is my perspective it's my beliefs that are imbuing the material things that are all around me, and this is what I am witness to. This is why you could have 5 different people all be in the exact same scene scenario, and each of them will describe it differently. Police do this. They'll have a witness at an accident, and I can't remember if it was like they asked 100 different people that they, saw this accident go on, and then they asked 100 different people, and all of them said something different. Some of them said they were going real fast, some of them said they were going real slow, some of it just depended on the person and their perspective. So we think that we know, and sometimes people do intentionally hurt us. Absolutely. But sometimes we think people are hurting us, but it is purely our perspective. Or that we have created some complete delusion and fantasy in our mind about what's really going on, and it's not the truth at all. So let me give you one example of that. So I've worked with many families before, because someone will come to me and they're like, oh man, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so needs to come and see you. And so then I'll end up working with a ton of people in one family, because they can see such a difference in that one person. And so through this, people have come to me and I can see, that they're resentful. They're telling me, oh, well, this person is this way and they did this to me and blah, 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 blah. And then I end up working with that person and you hear it from their perspective. And it's like the person who was insulted and thought this person was doing whatever they were doing to him, the other person just only thought that they were doing good. And they're bringing this up. I'm not bringing anything up. Obviously, I can't tell anybody about anything that's, you're, so-and-so said this. I'm not doing that. I'm just purely and only seeing it from their perspective. And so many times, you have no idea. So many times, what you think is going on is absolutely not going on. But usually it will be hurt that comes from someone and that they feel like they're unloved, or maybe this person, this person got this and I didn't get that, I'm obviously, they don't value me as much, or whatever it happens to be. And it's just not the truth. It's not the truth at all. But our perspective makes everything the truth. Our beliefs, whatever it is that we believe, will be what we witness. That is then our perspective, and that perspective is our truth. Even if it's not the actual truth, right? Like, well, this thing made me feel like crap. Well, should it have? No, but it did. That's my truth. You know what I mean? So very oftentimes, as we are only living from our own perspective, we are, making up things. We're delusional, essentially, about what really happened. Why? Because people suck at communicating. And they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to bring the things up, or when they do, they get shut down. And so they just think, there's no point. Every time that I bring this thing up, I get shut down. So I'm not going to bring that thing up anymore. And then miscommunication starts happening, and then relationships are destroyed and they fall apart. But if somebody did something to you and you are a victim of it, let's say it's something horrible, and like truly, truly horrible, it can be so hard, right, to forgive the person who did this to you. But eventually everything changes. Eventually everything changes, and you will see, what did you gain from this? What did you learn from that situation? How much stronger are you now? Are you in such a better place? Are you now maybe helping people who have been through the same thing? There's always benefits that come from the low vibrational things that happen to us, but only when we learn from them. And this is a choice. It's a decision that we have to make. We have to choose to learn and to not be a victim of it. Because I was a victim when I was a teenager, for sure. Oh, I'm a victim of, being treated this way and all these things. And did that do me any favors? No. It made me physically ill. It caused me all kinds of problems, and then I started harming myself. Like, let's go do some drugs because, you know what I mean? So when you go to forgive someone, you are doing it for yourself, first and foremost. But when you truly forgive someone, you are then happy to also do it for them. Let me give you an example. Had my, ex-boyfriend who was super abusive not been that way to me, my life would be completely different. I wouldn't be nearly as strong as I am. I wouldn't have gone through any of the things that I went through. My child's life would be completely different. Everything would be completely different. And I'm so thankful that that's not the case. And I'm so thankful that I got out of that abusive relationship and then would never ever allow that again in the future. What, you want to hit me? Yo, no, you're not going to hit me. That's not going to happen. But we learn these things as we go. And so when I look back on him now and that horrible abuse, emotional abuse, physical, all of it. When I look back on it, I'm so thankful now, right? Because I can recognize the signs immediately. Oh, you want to isolate me from these people? Oh, that's not happening. Oh, this is happening. No, it's not happening. And we learn and we gain so much from our experiences. But if we don't learn from them, then it's because we're still in the blaming and victim mode. And when you are in blame and victim mode, your life's just going to suck. You're going to be stuck. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be destruction. Because think about the frequency of I'm a victim. What does that feel like? It's lowly. Oh, and because you're manifesting right now, every single second, you are putting that out there, and it's going to come back to harm and hurt you, not only just physically in your body, which it does instantly through your lowly thoughts, but through the chaos that you send out, those low victim blame, angry thoughts. Well, you're going to have more victim blame, angry people come into your life because the universe sees what you're putting out and it thinks, oh, they want that. All right, they're putting it out. That's what they are. We'll give them more. And you might be sitting there like, no, I don't want that. I don't want more. But it just only knows what you are. It only knows the vibration that you're sending out right at this second. It doesn't know that you don't want to be in that vibration that you're sending out that second. It doesn't know that at all. It only knows what you are sending out right there at that very second. And so when you shift that vibration that you're sending out, then everything shifts in your life. The visible matter shifts, your perspective shifts, and so pretty soon you're one of those people when there's 100 people there and this thing happened and you just see the beautiful things in it because you have had a perspective shift and you are now living in heaven on earth rather than the hell that you were living in before. Because if you're in victim mentality right now and you're blaming people, you're in hell. That's where you're living, is hell. I don't want to live in hell. Who would want to live in hell? That sounds fucking hellish and horrible. I want to live in heaven. So the way you do that is through choosing, through the decisions, through the things, your thoughts, the things that you choose to think about. And I'm not saying if some random thought pops into your head, that's just going to instantly manifest and whatever. No. When the thought comes in, you get to then choose and decide, am I going to think about this? Am I going to indulge myself in these lowly thoughts that make me feel like a victim and make me feel like crap? Or am I going to choose to decide to think about something that's more heavenly and send out that frequency so that things that are that frequency will radiate back into my life and I will get more of those things? Because that's what I want. So if you think about this, if you think about the forgiveness and the fact that you can recall what they did to you so easily, it's not because what they did is not forgivable and it's not there to just remind you how horrible you are or whatever it is. It's popping up because it believes it's protecting you. So next time that thought pops up, instead of being mad at it or whatever you normally do when that thought comes up, do this. Thank it for being there. And just like close your eyes and just thank it and be like, thank you so much. I know that you were trying to protect me. I know that you're trying to keep me safe, but I know that I've learned from this and that I would never allow someone to do something like that to me again in the future. Someone to not value me properly or whatever it happens to be. Thank you so much for popping into my head. But thank you. I let you go now. I learned the lesson. I don't need to keep rehashing it. Thank you. And when you send it that nice, soft, thankful energy, it transmutes and it shifts from something that's harsh and that your body had to tense up about and push away the life energy that's the goodness that's all around you. And it shifts and it changes it, right? It feels completely different. And so when you do this and you just start to soften into those feelings, those emotions that are so hurtful and so hard and so whatever they are, as you do this, then you're setting yourself free and you're setting the other person free. And then when you're ready to forgive that person, you're like, no, I think I'm really ready. And go back and watch that other, I'll post it here at the end, I'll link it. There's 2 forgiveness videos, and they are very helpful. They give very helpful tips of ways that you can forgive. But I want you to know that the only reason why this keeps coming into your mind and that it keeps pissing you off so much and that it keeps hurting you is because you believe that this person didn't love you properly, right? And so that makes you feel unlovable. And feeling unlovable is, it's just the worst. It's awful. And it's because we intuitively know that we're here and our only purpose in being here is love. It's actually only love. That's the only reason why we're here. And so this intuitively pisses you off and hurts you because you know it's the opposite of the reason why we're here. And so it's so very hurtful. So when you soften into that, and you take those memories and you thank them, thanks for popping me up. I know you're just trying to protect me. I know you're just trying to love me. I know you're just trying to keep me safe. But I've learned, I know I don't need to keep thinking about this. I'm not going to put myself in those situations anymore. I'm not going to put myself in environments with people that don't have my best interest in mind. I'm going to be so much more aware. And you just talk to that emotion, whatever it is that's coming up, whatever it is that it's trying to warn you of and tell you to protect yourself from, and just thank it and just love it for being there. And it will soften, it will transmute, and it will change things for you because it will change your perspective. And it will change the vibration that you're emitting out. It will be a higher vibration than that low one. And so then it's going to bring you back things in your world, visible matter, things you can actually see that are more in alignment with you and that feel so much more wonderful and that feel calm and that feel good and that don't disrupt you and cause chaos inside of you. So thanks for tuning in here today. Love y'all so much. There has been so many people on this page. This page has been growing like crazy, and that's all thanks to you guys. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend. Love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.